Okay, everybody, this is my first time giving it a shot doing some motovlogging, so we'll see what happens. Ride around a little bit, see what happens. Looks like it might rain out to the left a little bit. It's a little north of where I am right now. So we'll just head south. Try to stay away from the rain, hopefully get a nice little half-hour ride in before I gotta get home and get the kids ready for bed. So, you know, my wife's new to riding. She's been riding for about 4 or 5 months. I guess they decided at the last minute to make a left. But yeah, my wife's new to riding. I got my motorcycle license probably like 10, 11 years ago. Rode for a year or so, and then I wasn't really riding my bike. I had a Kawasaki Ninja 250, and yeah, I would ride it. I had a good time. I would have my wife on the back. We were just dating at the time. We would go for some rides, and it was fun. It was so like underpowered, super lightweight. If I was ever riding on the highway, I felt like I was like riding sideways or like at a really angled way, just going straight. So, I don't know, a lot of time would go by and I wouldn't ride it, and it was an older bike, so the carburetor would get gummed up all the time, and you know, I didn't know how to fix it, so we would have to take it into the shop, have them fix it, and it would just cost way too much money for a couple of college kids to be throwing down every once in a while. So we ended up selling it, and just didn't have any motorcycles for a while. And then maybe, you know, last year sometime, 2023, towards the end of the year, my wife started saying, hey, I think it would be a cool idea to start riding a motorcycle. I want to get one. And, you know, we've got a couple of younger kids, so my first reaction was like, nope, we're not doing that. I'm not about to raise these kids by myself, so I'm not going to let you get a bike. And then it's that constant, I want a bike, and then watching videos and sharing videos with me, and I finally ended up caving and letting her get a bike because it seemed like something she really had her heart set on. She found a bike she really liked, and yeah, she went and took the beginner training course, MSF something, I don't know, the beginner course. I took it way back when I got licensed. Watch out for these golf carts around here. Hi there. So yeah, she went and took the class. She started riding. I was super nervous because I remember I tried to teach her how to ride. Yeah, I remember trying to teach her how to ride the Ninja 250, and she couldn't get it. Maybe I just wasn't a great teacher at the time. It just didn't work out for me to teach her back then. She would stall the bike out left and right and just wasn't very confident. Yeah, so here we are, fast forward now. So every time she would go out when she first started, I would be super nervous. And then she just got better and better, and over a couple of months she started doing longer and longer rides. I would stalk her on Find My iPhone and see where she is, and she'd be out by the beach, or she'd be over by like Lake Okeechobee, and just like far away from the house. And, you know, sometimes she would go, like, in the middle of the day whenever I'm off work. The kids would be in school, and I'm just like, okay, so why am I not, like, I would have to take turns with her. I'd have to wait for her to get home so that I could go riding. I would ride her bike, because we only had the one bike. And, you know, I would tell her, like, oh, I went on the highway today, and then she'd start thinking, like, she wants to go on the highway, and I kept telling her, no, don't do it, it's so dangerous. And sure enough, she ended up going on the highway. And then she would hear about what I'm doing and just kind of, these guys aren't going anywhere. She's right out this way. But yeah, so the point being, she got better and better, got more comfortable. I would be at home while the kids are in school, waiting for my turn to go on her bike, her Honda CBR 500R, in that sexy red color that she got. Yeah, and she would say, oh, I'm going out for like a short ride. You know, I'll be back in like a half hour maybe. And then an hour goes by, she's still not home, so I look down, find my iPhone, and she's out by the beach. And I know it's going to take at least half hour, 45 minutes for her to get home. So I think that was like the last straw. I'm just like, okay, I got to get my bike. At that point, it had been, you know, a month or so where I was pretty set on this bike here, the Kawasaki Ninja 650. I was looking at a few different ones. I was looking at some of the 600 bikes, ZX6R, Suzuki GSX 8R, and whenever I just went and sat on them, kind of got a feel for them, I just didn't really like the way they felt. You know, they probably have a little more power, a little more zip, but I like the way this one felt. And you know, I kind of got a feel for riding again with being on her 500, but you know, I wanted something with a little more power, but nothing that I'm gonna like scare myself on. So I figured we'll just go for the 650. I watched a lot of videos, and people said even though it's kind of like a beginner bike, it still has some torque in it, and you know, like it'll go, like here, you know, it's real rev on it, it'll take off. Like I've got some speed. You know, I'm sure if I did that on a friggin' ZX6R or Yamaha R7, I probably would have just done like a wheelie, which nobody here. And I'm really liking it. I love the color, I love the style. Everything seems pretty straightforward. It doesn't really have like a quick shifter or anything, but you know, I wasn't used to that, so I'm not really missing out on anything. Let's check out some of this stuff. Looks nice. Alright, so that's kind of the story of how we got back into it. And then so lately we've been going on these like crazy rides. These people are gonna back up. I want to go up there, so I'm gonna go around the circle and wait for them. I don't know why they decided to back up. They probably could have just done what I'm gonna do. So another good thing I really like about the 650 is I'm not so like slammed forward. So my wife with her CBR 500R sits pretty straight up, has a very comfortable relaxed position, and she used to go out for like a good 2 to 3 hour ride. That's pretty into those little waterfalls. Alright, nobody coming. So even if I get like a 636 ZX6R, I think I'm gonna keep this bike for those like long rides, because this is really comfortable. When I was watching reviews, a lot of people talked about how the seat kind of vibrates your butt a lot. I feel it a little bit, but it hasn't really bothered me. I mean, we just went on like a 3.5 hour-ish ride yesterday while the kids were in school, and I was fine. I still feel like holding the throttle with this bike after a couple hours gets to be kind of a lot, just because it has so much engine braking. The engine braking, I'll show you though. Here, I'm gonna go into 4th gear, and now I can coast and let go of my right hand if I hold the clutch like this. And that's not so bad, you know. The engine isn't really happening; it's just on the clutch. But if I let go and don't do the clutch, watch how quick this thing slows down. You know, it's almost like I went down a couple gears. Like it has pretty serious engine braking. So I feel like I constantly have to like grip that throttle. But yeah, so these like 2-hour, 3-hour rides with this upright seating position is really nice. And this bike has more torque and more power, higher speed than that CBR 500R. So my wife's constantly telling me like, hey, you know, let me go first, so that way I'm not trying to catch you the whole time. Let's get past these guys. Ladies first anyway, right? Gotta be a gentleman. And then, you know, she's not trying to catch up to me. She doesn't have cars like right behind her freaking her out. I get her butt the whole time. It's like win-win-win, you know? So happy wife, happy life. I get stared butt. Bing! I'm all good with that. Hey, how's it going, man? I think I got a wave. So this here, as you can see on the sign, is Riverland. This is where a whole lot of older people are gonna live. That looks really nice though. I wonder if anybody's climbed it yet. I kinda want to, not gonna lie. Alright, so what was I talking about? Something about me and my wife went on long rides. There's a bird. So, yeah, I mean, whole thing. So it's been a nice little like bonding experience over a new hobby. But we've been doing a ton of like exploration. We've only lived in this area for a couple of years, but you know, aside from taking the kids to school and going to work, let's go up here and make a U-turn. Going to the grocery store, going to a couple places. We don't really like go around in our car. I don't know if that's something that people do. I feel like back in high school I might have done it a little bit. There's people in a golf cart. There's a lot of golf carts around here. Those are like little kids. I don't even think they're supposed to be riding by themselves, but whatever. It's a beautiful dog. It is a German Shepherd, I believe. We do have a dog, so anybody that are dog people, you guys rock. Dogs are awesome. We used to have cats, and we like those too, but my wife's super allergic to cats, so that didn't work out so well. Allergies were a big problem. We ended up finding a home for the cats, but now years later we have this dog, and his name's Charlie. He's a golden doodle, hypoallergenic, doesn't really cause any allergy issues unless he goes out into the grass. The sky looks pretty back behind us. So this is tradition. There's an Aldi going up there. I don't know what else is going to be in this plaza yet, but I'm actually a little bit excited that we're going to have this giant heart. It's just going to be some art sculpture right there, and supposedly you can walk across it. I don't know. It may not be all that awesome, but supposedly the maker of the heart has sculptures in different parts of the world, so it might be cool. We'll see. I see some cops up ahead. We're gonna go at a pretty slow speed here. Visibility. People might be trying to turn around that cop coming out of here. Alright, we're good. Just let him know. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this area, this is like the southern area of or southern area of tradition. See how this goes. It's like an Amazon facility out here. We should drive past that. What is this? Stars Stripes Park? Okay. Gonna have an American park down here. Yeah, it'll be interesting if this place grows. You know, it's grown so much in the past couple of years since we've been here. Yeah, there's the Amazon thing. Pretty big building. I think that's driven some of the jobs around here too. And then I don't know what that other one is. Another Amazon building. One of the big things with us getting back into riding, or me back into riding, my wife starting, was safety, right? So we've got little kids. We don't want to, either one of us, become like single parents. So what have we done? What have we done? I think one of the biggest things, I gotta give a big shout out to Dan the fireman, and I'll link one of his videos so you guys can go check him out. Huge. Like, as far as safety goes with being on a bike, I don't know if there's anybody better. The guy goes through different like crashes, and I'd say probably like 99 out of 100 times the biker could have done something better to minimize the accident or avoid it completely. You know, I think one of the biggest things is just being aware, not speeding, following the laws, paying attention to what's going around you. You know, the cars that are around you. This guy should have put a signal on. I think a couple of major things that cause accidents is watching out for open lane patterns when you're around a bunch of vehicles. Open lane pattern is basically there'd be like 3 or 4 cars here, maybe one over here, and all these cars want to get into your lane. So knowing that and assuming that they're all going to try to get into your lane, so that you slow down, kind of move over here, so if they do try to get into your lane, you have an escape route, and just having a plan. So putting yourself in position where you're not going to experience a risky situation. Don't ride next to a car. That car may not see you. You know, all these stock exhausts have mufflers on them. They're pretty quiet. Even if you do have a slip-on, you know, somebody said in one of our videos recently, like, makes sense. Like, if you put on one of those loud mufflers, I've heard, you know, loud exhaust save lives. There's that cop. He's probably getting me on radar right now, but I don't think I'm speeding. Yeah, there he is. That cop threw my train of thought out. Right out the window. Safety, Dan fireman. So we talked about open lane patterns, planning your route. Don't ride next to cars, ride staggered. If you're riding in a group, pay attention attention what other people are doing. Ride your ride. Don't feel like you gotta be pressured into keeping up with your buddies. Or even me and my wife, I know that I've ridden longer than her, and there's some things that I'm comfortable with that she's not. And honestly, there's some things that she's comfortable with that I'm not. I still feel a little bit sketchy riding at some of the higher speeds, just because that whole, like, you know, following the law thing. I know that I shouldn't be doing it, but also getting comfortable with my bike. It's a newer bike for me. I've only had this bike maybe a month now, so you know, whenever we were going a little bit quicker on some of these back roads, you know, I don't feel like other cars was really a problem. It was more of, I didn't feel at one with my bike. I felt this disconnect between me and my bike. Something minor happens, I could fly right off the bike. And yeah, that is a thing. Don't turn, thank you. Another motto I like to live by, me and my wife say all the time, is ride like everybody's out to kill you. Because even though they're not all serial killers, some of them might be, almost everybody is like on their phones in their car. Like, since I've started riding, I've definitely noticed a lot of people on their phone. So this is that open lane pattern, right? So all these cars here are in this right lane, I'm right here. So at any point, any of them could try to get into my lane. Lane up here that he's going to go into is a left lane, left turn only. So he's probably going to try to get in front of me when we go. Oh, he didn't gun it, so I bet he still gets over the watch. Yep, he got over, and he's getting all the way over behind me too. So it's a good thing I didn't decide to get over. Oh, watching out for road hazards. I've seen some accidents where some people hit some stuff in the road and it just their day. So when me and my wife are riding, we're definitely communicating with each other. We got these cardo things, those are huge. You know, that's what I'm recording this on right now. Some other dangerous things that we're trying to avoid as newer riders. My wife being a beginner rider and me getting back into it. No drinking before riding. You know, if I go hang out with my friends, she goes hang out with her friends, and we're doing any drinking at all, we're not riding home. Alright, and that's gonna end it. Alright guys, so thanks for coming with me on my first MotoVlog. Peace out.